The banjo started playing 3 minutes before my entire unit died. I know how that sounds. Our sonic analysis software flagged the sound as non-threatening folk music. A simple 5-stringed harmonic loop echoing through the valley's cheerful, almost manic, utterly at odds with the encroaching twilight. I am the sole survivor of the Silent Inquiry Expedition, 17 cycles of military service, 4 successful planetary pacifications, and I will spend whatever remains of my existence trying to forget that sound. But High Command needs to understand what happened here, so I will start at the beginning.
72 hours earlier.
The Appalachian sector of Planet Designate 3 was classified as low priority. A sparse population, rugged terrain, minimal technological infrastructure, ideal for a quiet initial foothold. We landed adjacent to a crude shelter constructed of processed cellulose. We later learned it was called wood, held together by oxidized metal fasteners. A sign was affixed to it. Our linguistic AI roughly translated to property of Bubba trespassers will be bait. Commander Cathar's mandibles clicked with amusement. Primitives often use threat displays to ward off local predators. It is of no consequence. Inside the shelter, we discovered a large container holding a fermenting slurry of grain water. Our bioanalyzers registered dangerous levels of ethanol and volatile organic compounds, a biological hazard, a failed food store left to rot. Following planetary decontamination mandate 7 Gamma, we emptied the foul-smelling mash into a nearby ravine, sterilized the containers with focused plasma bursts. A simple, effective act of sanitation. The first of many catastrophic miscalculations.
Contact.
I registered the biped's approach through seismic sensors before I saw it. Heavy, ground-shaking footfalls from 100 meters out. It was immense, taller and broader than any specimen in our databases. Clad in stained woven fibers, face obscured by coarse facial hair. Bubba. It stopped at the shelter's entrance, sniffing the air like a predatory mammal. Then it went inside. The roar that followed was not of fear nor pain. It was absolute, incandescent rage, a sound that bypassed my auditory dampeners and vibrated in my thoracic cavity. Bubba emerged holding one of the sterilized containers, staring at its gleaming, residue-free interior. It looked towards the ravine, then pulled out a primitive communication device. My translator struggled with thick dialect.
Gone. The whole run. Poured out. Clean as a whistle. Don't know. Something ain't right. The sign's still there. Come on, get the boys. Tell them the drop's off. We got visitors, not the feds, not their style. These ones neat.
A pause. When it spoke again, a chill crept along my limbs that had nothing to do with the temperature.
Get the dogs, get the boys. Tell Jib to bring his damn banjo. I want him to know we're coming.
The biped snapped the device shut and stared directly at my position in the tree line. My cloaking field was perfect. State-of-the-art. It couldn't see me, but it stared anyway, with cold, calculating certainty. Then it turned and walked away, footfalls, like a drumbeat of a coming war.
The hunt.
It's one primitive, Cathar said when I reported. What threat could it possibly pose? Vorn and Jorik. Our scouts never reported in again. The banjo started at dusk, a rhythmic, plucking melody from the far ridge. Simple tones played with speed and complexity that was mathematically unsettling. It echoed through the valleys, cheerful and manic, and then Jorg's calm crackled to life. A single, choked gasp. Something heavy dragged through the leaves. A wet, final snap. Then silence. Jorg, report. Cathar's voice cut sharp across the comm. The only reply was that relentless, cheerful plucking now coming from a different direction. Then came the quadrupeds, dogs, as the locals called them, that howled from everywhere. All at once, my thermal sensors lit up with a dozen heat signatures, flanking our position with impossible speed. They weren't targeting the ship, they were hurting us. Thorn's last transmission was a frantic whisper. They're everywhere. No technology I can detect. Just moving through the trees. My cloaking field. They have beasts sniffing me out. I see one. Just a biped with a kinetic projectile weapon. But wait. The shotgun blast was deafening. Thorn's life sign went dark. We were being hunted. The banjo played on.
Battle of none.
The forest became a killing field. Plasma fire cut uselessly through the trees, answered by chemical explosions from the shadows. They never attacked head-on. They were ghosts, using terrain, darkness, and the very planet itself as weapons. Our thermal imaging was defeated by the very lanterns they carried in their hands. Our motion sensors drowned in the planet's abundant wildlife, which they moved throughout without disturbing. Our superior technology was a liability. I made it back to the inquiry, sealing the ramp as metal slugs hammered the hull, cratering neutronium alloy. Cathar almost made it. I watched on the view screen as her energy shield flared during the retreat. She was mere meters from the ramp when Chico was tangled in a net. She was surrounded by 3 bipeds. Her shield flared, buckled, and then failed. Her last transmission is etched in my memory banks forever. Retreat.
The final route.
I was alone. The banjo music seemed to be right outside, jaunty and mocking. Something splattered against the forward view screen. My chemical sniffer identified instantly. High-proof ethanol. Moonshine, as the locals called it. Before I could process the implication, a lighter arced through the air. The world outside became blue-white fire. The viewport cracked under the thermal stress. They were using the very substance we had dismissed as waste to destroy us. I diverted all power to thrusters. The silent inquiry lurched upwards, shaking violently, crashing through the canopy. The port stabilizer failed. I ascended erratically, trailing smoke and hydraulic fluid. Below, in the firelight of the burning forest, I saw them, dozens of them, watching, not cheering, not celebrating, just watching. Faces grim and resolute, as if swatting an insect. As I drifted out of the atmosphere and into the void, I could swear I could still hear that cheerful, dreadful, plucking sound. High Command's assessment is catastrophically flawed. These are not primitives. These are not natives. They are apex predators. My advice to High Command is to quarantine the planet, blockade the system, forget we ever probed it. For we made the one transgression above all else. We spilled their drink